All right, let's try this again. So, 7 months ago, I posted about a video about who's to blame for the current trucking market, for the prices, because 7 months ago, the rates were bad too. And then we got into April, May, June, and July where it was awful. And then we saw a blimp of hope, a glimmer of hope in August, and that kind of flattened or plateaued again. And it's still a race to the bottom. And a lot of truckers are saying they've never seen it this bad in years. So, my question again, as of right now, November 14th, 2023, where are we right now? How are you feeling right now when it comes to who is to blame for this current situation we're in? Now, there are some things that are going on a global landscape that affect the prices, of course. That goes without saying. I've always said, someone sneezes across the sea or across the ocean, and the next thing you know, freight prices go up in North America, right? So that's definitely something that's normal in our industry, so to speak. I've never really thought of it as anything else. But for me personally, I still think that the large mega brokers, the large mega carriers are still playing quite the role in the rates that are being pushed out into the spot market. And so obviously people that got locked into any kind of long term, well, not long term, but longer contract where they're getting 240, 250, 230, 220, for example, just as an example, are doing a lot better than people that are currently trying to find freight off the spot market, because the spot market rates are horrendous right now. We're seeing like $1.65, $1.55, $1.30. I've seen rates posted as low as 60 cents. I've seen reefer rates posted as low as 75 cents a mile, right? Now that is taking advantage of the current prices. So those are those advantageous freight brokers that are taking advantage of the current prices, and it's absolutely terrible. I mean, it's laughable what kind of rates are being offered. We all know that it takes some cash to run a truck down the road. That it is not for free, but definitely considering that, we're kind of in it for an interesting 2024. My own prediction is we still are not going to see rates get back to any kind of normal until 2025. That's just based off of what I've seen this entire year. Even when volumes increased in August, and even when in September there was even higher volumes, and now in October we hear that it was high container volumes that have come into the USA, for example, imports. Rates really haven't budged all that much, and that's typically not the case, right? If you have more freight to move, there's a higher demand for freight to move. So when that happens, whatever the capacity is at, rates should go up substantially based off of the numbers that we have seen in October, September, and August, respectively. But that didn't happen, you know. So when there's when there's a disengagement and disparity between the amount of loads available and the rates that are being offered, that makes no sense whatsoever, right? So, we will have to see some trucking companies again file for bankruptcy. Some owner operators shut down their operations and go to other companies that have contracts or that have work for them, or based off of some kind of percentage basis point or whatever. So I guess we'll see how it works out on that front. But honestly, my takeaway from this year is, there's three players that really play a major role in all of this. And actually, I don't really even think anymore that it's the shippers. I think it's pretty much as follows: freight brokers, the mega freight brokers, the ones like the C.H. Robinsons and TQLs of the world, Nolan Transportation, for example, even. The Steam Logistics, as an example, the rates that they offer on the load boards are rough. You know, that's very difficult to do anything with those kind of rates, right? That's one. Two, I think definitely mega carriers have a role to play in this. And the mega carriers have a role to play in this because we all know how predatory some of their pricing tactics are, and you know how competitive they are, and the fact that they want to run a monopoly on the system. You know that goes without saying. So those two are 100% to blame for all of this. And three, I actually don't think anymore that shippers have a role to play in this, because shippers have to go the way the trucks go and the way the brokers go. Okay, so for me, I truly think that the last part here is that carriers, for example, the mom and shop companies that don't, so we have to separate them from the ones that do, but the ones that do not understand their operating costs and don't stick to it. So imagine you have 2 million people, 2 million people that drive trucks in North America, for example. Just I'm using that number as an example. If out of those 2 million, 1.8 million knew the operating cost of their vehicle and didn't take rates that price, below that price, right? I guarantee you nobody would be running loads at a buck 75 a mile. Okay, that's a given. Whereas when we look at, let's say, 2 million people, and only 400,000 of those 2 million people know what their operating costs are, what's that going to do to price? So price is going to go up as well, because the price is going to go down, excuse me, because the fact that not enough people understand their operating costs, and there's a higher probability that loads will be taken sub $1.75. Now, load should be 350. You know, with the current inflation rates and things going on, and obviously people that have truck payments, trailer payments, the interest rates, all that stuff plays a role. But what I'm saying is, if more people will just stand together against this type of um, predatory tactics by mega brokers and the mega carriers, we would have a different view of this, right? We got to understand also that you mom and pop shop companies out there run this industry. America and Canada are built off of the mom and shop companies. Sure, mega carriers, cool, 10% of the market, that's fine. But you mom and shop companies are 90% of the market. Out of those 90%, 97% have less than 6 trucks. 6 trucks or less, excuse me. So we have to take that into consideration as well. So with that being said, what do you think? As a truck driver, as a freight broker, who is to blame for this current industry stalemate that we're in? The current industry rock bottom that we're at? And do you believe that this rock bottom is not the rock bottom, that we will continue digging even further down that line? So hit me in the comments. If you find this content somewhat relatable to you, give it a like. A subscribe to the channel would do me wonders as well. And share if you would like as well. So cheers, God bless, and stay safe out on the road. Ciao.